You'll never believe this, but hidden away in a document that I received from Phonak recently, which outlined their tech updates for 2024, I found something pretty unexpected. I knew that we were seeing an update to their receiver in canal and behind the ear hearing aids, with the introduction of the Audio Lumity 312, the Naida Lumity SP, the Sky Lumity M, plus the Sky Lumity SP. But what I wasn't aware of was this. Phonak are also updating their Lyric hearing aid, which for some reason has kind of gone under the radar. Phonak's Lyric is the world's only truly invisible hearing aid, and there are genuinely no other hearing aids that rival it in terms of discretion. But that discretion does come at a cost. So today I'll cover all the reasons that my patients love this hearing aid and if it's suitable for you. And I'll also run through the reasons that people sometimes don't get along with it. If you're currently doing your research on hearing aids, then you'll be aware that there are plenty of different styles of hearing aids, ranging from custom hearing aids, which come in various sizes, such as the Phonak Paradise IIC, CIC, ITC or ITE hearing aids, to the receiver in canal style, which sits behind your ear with a thin receiver wire running over the top of your ear, connecting the speaker into your ear canal. And then finally, we have this hearing aid, which is in a category of hearing aid technology in itself, the Phonak Lyric. According to a recent YouTube poll that I put out there, 62% of you that are tuned into this channel have never even heard of the Phonak Lyric hearing aid. So you're in for a treat today, but I'm curious at the same time, what exactly are you wearing then? Is it an OTC hearing aid? Is it a custom-made, a receiver in canal, or a behind-the-ear hearing aid? Or perhaps you're not wearing any hearing aid technology at all. Let me know in the comments to today's video so that I can tailor my videos exactly for what you're after going forwards. So what's unique about the Phonak Lyric hearing aid? As I mentioned before, this is in a category of hearing aid in itself, as it's the world's only extended wear hearing aid, and I'll comment on what that means shortly. Since its launch in 2007, there have been several iterations, all with very minor changes, some of them physical and some of them acoustic. Firstly, we saw Lyric 1, which was revolutionary as the world of audiology hadn't seen anything like it before. However, sadly, it only fitted in around 50% of the ears that it was tried in. In 2012, the Lyric went through a complete overhaul, with its components being miniaturized, which positively increased the fit rate to around 75%. And then in 2017, Phonak introduced Lyric 3 with adjustments to the compression ratios, a new lower power circuit, and a broader range of sizes, ranging from XXS to XXL, further improving comfort and feedback issues. And then finally, in 2020, Phonak released Lyric 4, with a redesign of the speaker protection system to improve their longevity and a reduction in the size of the module to improve comfort further still. So the big question is, what are 2024's updates? Lyric 4 is officially having an update in the summer of 2024, depending on where you are in the world. And due to the nature of Lyric and how it works from a subscription point of view, if you're already a Lyric user, you'll be upgraded to your next version of Lyric at your next insertion, at no extra cost whatsoever. This is to their brand new membrane chip. Now, believe it or not, there are 5 massive reasons why I am a huge fan of Lyric. And yes, discretion is one of them, but that's not in fact the main reason that I find it to be an incredibly popular hearing aid. Reason number 1 is that Phonak is inserted into your ear canal using a microscope using Phonak's specialist insertion tool. Prior to this happening, 2 measurements need to be taken by a Lyric specialist. Firstly, the depth of your ear canal is measured using a silicon tool, which tells us how far down we need to actually insert your Lyric. The optimum depth is around 4 millimeters from your eardrum, so it's incredibly close to your eardrum. The second measurement looks at the width of your ear canal, dictating which of the 7 Lyric sizes is the most appropriate for you and your ears. If it's too big, it may be uncomfortable, and if it's too small, it may migrate, or it's possible that you'll hear feedback or whistling in your ears. In practice, we tend to do this with a dummy Lyric, starting off with the smallest size and then gradually increasing the size until we find the right fit for you. Once I've found the correct depth and size of Lyric for you, I would then insert a live programmed device, which has been set up based on your hearing test results and the difficulties that you face on a daily basis. It sits 4 millimeters from your eardrum, which makes it the first reason that Lyric is a great product, which is its discretion. as it really is the only hearing aid out there that exists that's truly invisible once inserted. Reason 2 is whether you've been looking at an in-the-ear hearing aid, a receiver and canal hearing aid, or even a behind-the-ear hearing aid, there is always some degree of maintenance needed in order to keep it working. This could mean changing the batteries every few days or charging them at night time if they're rechargeable. Or it could even be changing the wax filters once every 4 to 6 weeks. There's always some level of interaction, which, to be honest, not everybody wants. So reason number 2 explaining Lyric's popularity is its convenience. There are no batteries to change nor filters, with the battery lasting a whopping 2 to 3 months. And for that length of time, there's nothing that you need to do whatsoever. The fact that it's also worn 24/7 means that when you go to bed at night time, there's no hearing aid to remove. So when your partner is whispering sweet nothings to you, you'll still be able to hear them lying next to you. Whereas with conventional hearing aids, the moment that your hearing aids come out, in some cases, there's no more conversation to be had whatsoever. Now, it wouldn't be a fair review if I didn't give you both the positives and the negatives of Lyric. And the downside when it comes to convenience is that you still do need to visit your audiology practice once every couple of months to have the old one removed and the new one inserted. Now, this is actually something that I do train patients to do over a period of time, and I have a how-to video which I'll link in the description to today's video. Some patients do love having this extra freedom to self-insert, others would rather leave it to the professionals. So you would have thought that having something sitting in your ear canal 4mm from your eardrum 24/7, it would be impossible to get used to the feeling. Well, the crazy thing is that after a week or so of wearing Lyric, the sensation of it being in your ear will completely disappear. The thing is so light, weighing in at less than 1 gram, and pretty small too, considering all of that technology that's crammed into it, measuring in at 12mm or 0.47 inches. All in all, you can see that Phonak have developed these hearing aids with comfort in mind. So the third positive going for Lyric is its comfort. The polyurethane umbrella-shaped seals are made from a squidgy material and are both hydrophilic and flexible in nature. This allows them to mold to the shape of your ear and fit comfortably in place. And of course, as your jaw moves when you eat or speak, your ear canal changes shape too, and these flexible seals will therefore stay pretty comfortable in your ear, adapting to those changes. So building on that, if you're doing any strenuous activities which may cause a moisture buildup, such as working out or doing any gardening, or if you're traveling on a plane and experiencing a pressure equalization, the foam seals allow for moisture and air to travel from within your ear canal to the outside world using Phonak's open cell technology. They're also coated with silicone, and when I say this, by no means am I saying going swimming with them is safe unless other precautions are taken, which I'll come on to what people do a little bit later on in this video. However, the silicone does give the Lyric some degree of resilience. These hearing aids are digitally programmable analog devices. Now, there are pros and cons to this with them being analog. As far as the pros go, that means that it produces a very clean and natural sound, as there's very little processing going on, which is reason number 4 that patients get on very well with Lyric. Being analog means that the processing involves no digital manipulation of the sound whatsoever. And as a result, I have a huge number of musicians wearing Lyric over and above any other digital hearing aid technology. The con around this, however, is that Lyric doesn't have the same degree of technology as a digital set of hearing aids, and therefore you may be missing out on features such as Bluetooth, an active feedback manager, or even noise reduction settings. And so if your degree of hearing loss warrants any more specialist features, then Lyric may not be the right solution for you. In my opinion, the only way to find out is to find an audiologist that provides Lyric, and it's quite a specialist service. This can be done using this handy tool on the Phonak website, which outlines all of the specialist clinics that provide Lyric, including my own, and then you can trial them for a month to see how you would get along. Reason number 5 is that if you're like myself and you're one of the 15% of the population that suffers with tinnitus, then you'll possibly agree with me when I say that the time I notice my tinnitus the most is that very moment that I climb into bed and the noise of the world has stopped and there's pure silence. However, there's not, because all I can hear is this. It just so happens that this is the moment that most hearing aid users will remove their hearing aids from their ears, meaning that the masking of tinnitus that happens when you're wearing your hearing aids will obviously stop. Can you see where I'm going with this yet? So the 5th reason that Lyric is great is that as it's worn 24/7, you'll spend no time whatsoever without Lyric in your ears, and it should continually mask your tinnitus 24 hours a day. Lyric is suitable for those with a mild to moderate sensorineural hearing loss, and if your hearing loss falls within this shaded area, then it's technically suitable for you. It's also worth noting that there are indeed a few factors that require medical approval before Lyric can be fitted, such as if you suffer with uncontrolled diabetes, if you're on blood thinning medication, if you have some form of immunodeficiency, any bleeding disorders, or an implantable medical device, or if you're under the age of 21. And on top of that, there are also some other contraindications to wearing Lyric. For example, if you've had any head or neck radiation therapy, or if you've got any active middle ear issues such as tympanic membrane perforations, costiostomas, or grommets. Your lifestyle is also something to bear in mind when considering Lyric, as yes, it's designed as a fit and forget hearing aid. However, there are a few occasions when you don't want to be wearing it. So if you regularly participate in these activities, then again, Lyric might not be suitable for you. Firstly, swimming, which, as I mentioned before, yes, they're treated to have some degree of water resistance. However, if you get them wet, they're going to break. Some of my patients have custom-made earplugs made so that they do have a little bit more freedom when they're in the shower, when they bathe, or when they go swimming. But I have to be honest, you still have to be careful. If you're a daily swimmer, I personally wouldn't recommend that you wear Lyric. Due to the potential of a pressure buildup between Lyric and your eardrum, Phonak also recommend removing Lyric if you're going scuba diving or skydiving to avoid barotrauma. And then finally, if you're having an X-ray or a CT scan, your Lyric can technically stay in. However, it's still worth mentioning it to the doctor. And if you have an MRI scan, it definitely needs to be removed due to its metal content. Aside from this hearing aid being programmed by your audiologist, it is also possible to change the mode that it's in using the sound link which comes with your Lyric. This is pretty cool as it allows you to change the volume, it allows you to turn the Lyric on and off, or even enable the sleep mode, which is essentially an acoustic transparency mode, somewhere between the hearing aid being switched off fully and being switched on. I actually have a video with full instructions on how to use the sound link, which I'll link in the description to today's video. Now, looking for the right hearing aid for you can be an absolute minefield, and there are tons of hearing aids out there claiming to be invisible. However, in my opinion, the Phonak Lyric is the only one that is truly invisible. But if you're interested in seeing what its main competitors are, then I'd recommend checking out this video.